So the Indian football team started their AFC Asian Cup campaign with admittedly a bit of a heartbreaking loss to Australia. Now I say heartbreaking and loss to Australia in the same sentence because the first 45 minutes of the game were very good. India defended resolutely. They held off a very good Australian attack, but unfortunately in the second half there were two killer blows that were dealt, partially down to India losing concentration and making mistakes, but also due to Australia's relentlessness that ended up costing India, and what could have been a hard fought draw where they would have actually gotten a point ended up being a 2-0 loss with no points. Now that might seem unfortunate, but it was a very good performance because last time that India faced off against Australia in an AFC Asian Cup game was all the way back in 2011 when Australia ran roughshod over India. It was a 4-1 loss and it was by no means a comfortable night out for the men, for the Blue Tigers. It wasn't an easy day out. This time around was less easy, but a 2-0 loss against one of Asia's top teams still very much respectable, and that's why it actually did lead to some rather interesting reactions coming in after the game, especially from members of the squad, senior members of the squad. When they were speaking, they said that there's a mixed bit of reactions that say, but some said that they were put in a good performance, others said that there's plenty to learn, yet more others reflected and said that there were potentially things they could have done better. So what were these reactions? We've collated the best of them and we'll go over them in this particular video, starting with one from the head coach Igor Stimac, and he was beaming with pride. He said very simply, I'm proud, I am proud of my boys. They showed that they are a bunch of honest, hardworking people who are committed to whatever we ask of them. And this part was key because again, going up against a side like Australia, you're not going to be looking to try and outplay them. You're going to look to defend resolutely, work hard, ensure you block off all of their passages of attack and maybe hope to nick a goal on the counter. So Stimac's point in this regard, very well taken, and was one that was further echoed by senior defender Sandesh Jhingan, who had a lot to do on the night but nevertheless was pretty effusive with his praise. He said, I feel we gave a good account of ourselves and we'll take the lessons that we've had to learn in certain moments. Now that's the key part that he's referring to, where he said that the lessons we've had to take in certain moments. India first half absolutely resolute, but professional sport can often be very ruthless in the sense that you can make even one mistake and that one mistake could cost you. So you have to be playing flawlessly. It's easier said than done because again, at elite sport, everyone at that level is good enough. So they can not just wait for mistakes but potentially induce them as well. Now, of course, there are many other ways of looking at it, and Indian skipper Sunil Chhetri took on a rather different approach. He said that mixed emotions and everything. He said that there were plenty of positives but also things that I feel I and we as a team a whole could have done much better, but he's chosen to take another look at it as well, and in fact chose to look forward rather than reflect too much on the game against Australia, because he said that Uzbekistan, who are incidentally India's next opponents in the group stage, are not Australia but they're a good side nonetheless. So it will be a big challenge for us in that game too, and in a sense he's right. Australia were in many ways the toughest team that India were going to have to face in this particular group. The toughest test is out of the way, but Uzbekistan are maybe a level or two below, so it's not that much of a difference. Realistically, for India, their best chance of a result would be against Syria, not even Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan are also entering this game as favourites, but as Chhetri rightly said, they're going to take those lessons, look to move forward and look to take on head on what should be a very big challenge in the form of Uzbekistan. And by the way, if you're wondering how it is that India can qualify, well, they will need a result against Uzbekistan, which, as I said, easier said than done, because even in the words of the skipper, they will be a big challenge. An interesting reaction also came in from the goalkeeper Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, who said that the first half was something we should be proud of, but it's a game of small margins, and if you give an inch to such superior opponents, they will punish you. And it's also worth noting that Gurpreet was at fault directly for one of the goals, and he said that I think I could have done much better there, but it is very much a game of small margins, and if you give a team that much of room, they will more often than not end up punishing you and will actually ensure that you pay for making that mistake. Of course, it is easier said than done being a professional athlete at that level, and mistakes of that nature do tend to happen, especially in high pressure situations. And with India, it's very easy for us to say that look, they should be doing better, but the fact is India don't play such matches often enough due to their FIFA ranking, so they need to be First, if you're looking at the long-term side of things, they need to first become the best of the teams that come within their own pool, then potentially get better. And that's why you need tournaments like the AFC Asian Cup, because it allows you to test yourselves against the best teams. If you come up against them, you kind of realize better on what your weaknesses are, and that's something that in these reactions we saw a lot of them said that we learned a lot and that we'll take that forward, and that is invaluable. Because even if you look at India in the AFC Asian Cup ever since 2011, they made a comeback in 2011 after 27 years, lost pretty badly, but then thereafter in 2019 when they next qualified, were this close to making it to the next round. This time around, perhaps making it to the knockouts would not be that simple, but even if you can put in fighting performances against a admittedly tough draw of opponents, it would be job well done. And look, we're seeing definite progress, and that exactly is what we want right now as Indian football fans. You want progress, you want to be able to be competing with the best of the best, and right now that will take some time and it will take patience, but you still need to be supporting the team through that. So the main thing we can do as fans is support, analyze and see where it is that the team can get better. Same to be said for the team, and it's interesting to see how it is they reacted. Many of them said, they were very humble and said that look, there's a lot to learn. They were self-critical. What were your favorite reactions of them all? Well, you can tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell as well, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.